So here's the quick way of animating some text in After Effects instead of trying to do it in Premiere. I'm going to go ahead and copy this text right here so I don't have to type it again for you. And I'm going to then go to my After Effects composition by right-clicking on my stars and then editing original. It'll open up the right program with the right project on the same exact composition that was used. And I'm going to add my text using this tool here. I'm going to draw a text box. I don't have my safe margins on, but I'm staying away from the edges. And Control V paste. Now you should have the properties of your text layer over here. If you select your text, you could increase the font size and change things around. It does have a number of different fonts, so if I change to that one right there, you'll see it's going to need a different font size. Now notice in After Effects there are other settings we might need to tweak, such as the distance between the lines of text. So now I've filled up my screen with the same words that are going to introduce. Now if you remember, I used the first 5 seconds and then the model gets introduced. So I'm going to use a program. You do need to have Adobe Bridge installed for this to work. It allows us to browse a number of animation effects. I'm going to go to Animation and browse the presets because there's a lot of already made animations for text. Text is right here. I'm just going to stick with the Animate In and the Animate Out. So since I'm at the very beginning at 0 seconds, Animate In is going to show me lots of different ways for that to animate. If you have a lot of lines of text, then having some sort of line by line makes sense. Random word shuffle, you can see a preview of each one of these to kind of see how you might like that so that you can find one that you appreciate. So there's a strange flickering in. So let's try that. So by double clicking, it will apply it. See After Effects flickering there? That means that the text has disappeared and it's now going to appear. Now you don't see any effect controls a lot of times. So selecting the layer, and you need to know the U key because it will show you where the keyframes are. And this one added a lot of very interesting, weird keyframes. So if you don't have a lot of control over it, it can be harder to use. So Control Z. Getting rid of this animation is a lot tougher if you don't have Control Z as an option. So as soon as you don't like it, Control Z undo and go find another one. Here's Fade Up Lines. I'll just double click on that one and see where my keyframes are. I'm pressing U again, and you can see that it's going to fade up line by line, but that takes up almost a full 5 seconds. Well, I don't want it to take that long, so I'm moving just this keyframe over, and now watch, it's going to fade in much more quickly since there's a lot to read. And I'm doing that so I can animate things out as well. So I'm going to go back to Bridge, go back to Text, and choose my Animate Out, and find one that I like. This is Slide Off Right by Character. So it looks like that one would take a long time. We need things to disappear a little bit more quickly. Let's find one that might do all of the lines, stretching out for each line. So if we can speed that up, that'll be pretty nice. So remember, I am at a little bit later time, so it's not trying to animate out while it's animating in. So let me double click on this one, go back to After Effects, and we'll see that by pressing U again on here, it may collapse and bring it back up. Now I've got my diamonds, and I can say, this keyframe needs to be a little bit closer so that it animates out much more quickly. And by 5 seconds, it's pretty much gone. Let me see, right about there is about 5 seconds. So the only way to really tell is to switch back to Premiere and see what that looks like. Now I'm going to hide my old text. And remember, that is now part of my star background. So when I press play here, they fade in from top to bottom. and then they disappear, and then my model starts fading in. If you really do need more time, then you can move this over. But now I've got a really nifty way of animating that. Now, if I need to see what that's really going to look like, I might want to add an out point. Can't see very much on there. And now this is the important part. I can press enter on my keyboard, and it will do a pre-render of just this part, and I can see what it looks like in real time. Just because there's a whole lot going on. But that's a quick and easy way of adding some text animation using Adobe Bridge. So just to see it now, you've got your green bar. This did not get pre-rendered. It's going to press play, and we'll see it in real time, and it will stop at that out point. So it's always a good idea to clear those out, or you may accidentally only render that when you get ready to render your actual video. So pretty nifty little animation for your title without having to do a whole lot of work for it.